To make the large circle motif crochet sweater or top, you're going to use a color changing cake of yarn. This is the one that I used. And for each side, on one side you're going to work from the outside in, and for the other side you're going to work from the inside out. And then when the two circles are the same, are the size that will fit across your chest, the way that you can do that is you're going to connect it in 6 places and with stitch markers, and you can try it on to see if it's at the right size yet. From here to here, this is going to be your shoulders. So you're going to connect it from here in to as far in as you want for the neck. From here to here is going to be your arm opening. Those are going to be open. And then from here to here is you're going to connect those, whether you sew it or crochet it or slip stitch it, however you'd like. After you've done that, you can add sleeves on here and here. I used 10 sections for my circle, and you can use whatever amount of sections that you want. I think as little as 6 will make a nice circle. Sorry, as little as 8 will make a nice circle, but 10 is what I used for this very lightweight yarn. And both of these motifs are worked from the center out on both sides. And then that's pretty much it. For mine, I worked about a total of about 21 or 22 rows all together. I used a 7mm hook, and again I used this yarn here. So when you make yours, let me see what yours looks like. Give me a shout out, and can't wait to see it. The instructions on how to make these motifs is the same pattern as for my circle shawl. And with the circle shawl, you can make full circle, or you can make a half circle or a 3/4 circle. The only difference between the shawl and the motif is you will continue to work just in the round the entire time. You won't have these ending points here. And I will link to the pattern for this in the description below and in the comments, or send me a comment, post a comment, and I will send you the links directly. Let me know when you make this. I would love to see yours. To make the large circle motif, we're going to use the same pattern that I used for making my circle shawl. And with the circle shawl, you can make either a full circle, 3/4 circle, or half circle. For our large circle motif, we're going to be making the full circle. And for that, you're going to use, depending on the yarn you're using, you'll need to just do a small little swatch and see what works best. But you'll be making anywhere from as little as 8 of these triangular sections to as many as 12. But for mine, I did 10. Somewhere between 8 and 10 is probably right. So here I have 10 sections on this one, and I'm going to show you how we do that in the round. And I'm also going to have in the description below, I'm going to have a link to the full video explaining how to make the circle shawl and the different types. The instruction will be a lot more detailed. So that will be in the links below in the description, or leave a comment and I'll send you the links. So the first step is you're going to choose how many sections you're going to make. For this example, I'm going to do 10. And the number of sections that you decide to use, that's how many double crochets you're going to start with in our first round. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to chain 3. And again, you can make this with any yarn and any hook size that you like. So we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, yarn over, pull through a loop, and pull that through the loop on our hook. You're going to chain 2, go into the second chain from the hook, pull through a loop, and then go into the center of our circle and yarn over and pull through a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That counts as your first double crochet. That's how I make my first double crochets. You can certainly use a chain 2 or a chain 3 or whatever kind of standing double crochet that you like to make. So since I'm making 10 sections, I'm going to make 10 double crochets all together, including this one. So that's 2, 3, and 9, and 10. Now, since this is going to be our circular motif, the thing that we're going to do different than in the shawl is we're going to connect this last stitch with the first stitch. So we're going to go into that first stitch and we're going to do a slip stitch. So you just go into that, the V's there, yarn over, pull through a loop, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And that's the beginning of your circle. Okay, and then for row 2, we're just going to do 2 double crochets into each of our first double crochets. So I start the same way that I always do. I do a chain 2, go into that second chain, yarn over, pull through a loop, go into the same stitch where we did our slip stitch right here, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And since we're doing 2 in there, we're going to do a second one into that same space. And we're going to do 2 into each of these stitches all around. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on all the way around. Okay, and I'm at my last stitch right here. Oops, where am I? Right here. And we're going to do 2 into that stitch. 1 and 2. And then we're going to join with a slip stitch to this first stitch here. And that is the end of row 2. Okay, and then row 3 is basically our pattern repeat row. You're going to start with your standing double crochet, and then you're going to put a double crochet in between each of those 2 double crochets. And then you're going to do a regular double crochet at the end. So this is the beginning of our one of our sections. And then between that section and the next section, we're going to do a chain 1. We're going to do a regular crochet, and then we do something that I call an in-between, a between double crochet, or between stitch double crochet, and then an end stitch double crochet, which is basically just a regular double crochet. You do that all the way around. Okay, so the way that looks, we're going to chain 2, go into that second chain, and go into the same stitch where we did our slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now what we're going to do, this is our first stitch right here. That first stitch looks a little weird the way I'm doing it. It could almost look like 2, but it's really just 1. Okay, you can tell by the holes, right, and the V's there. So this is our first stitch, this is our second stitch, and you can see that they were both going into this stitch here. So our next stitch is going to go in between those 2 stitches, and our third stitch is going to go into this second double crochet here, and we do a regular double crochet. Then we do a chain 1 and we start the next section. You can see these are our 2 stitches. We're going to do another 3 stitches into that section. So we're going to do double crochet. We're going to do a between stitch double crochet in between those stitches, and then an end stitch double crochet, which is just a regular double crochet into that second stitch, and then a chain 1. And then we're going to go to the next 2 stitches and do the same thing. We're going to do that all the way around. And if you need a slower version of this, again, I will have the link in the description below to the more in-depth video on how to work this pattern. And a little tip here, I'm going to make my in-between stitch. Make sure you don't miss this stitch here, okay, because sometimes this in-between stitch can kind of cover up that stitch. So just move that over a little bit and get your end stitch in there, the end of your section, and just keep going. And we're at our last 2 stitches, so we're going to do, and I did my chain 1, we're going to do our end stitch there, an in-between stitch double crochet, and then another end stitch here. You're going to chain 1, because we want to chain 1 between every one of these sections, and then you're going to slip stitch to that first stitch of the round. And that is the 3rd row done. Okay, so then for round 4, you're going to make your first double crochet. That's going to be an end stitch, like a regular double crochet, and then we're going to work these between stitches between all of the stitches of that section. So in this case, it'll be 1, 2, and then we do another end stitch into this end stitch here. We do a chain 1, and then we start all over again. We make an end stitch into this double crochet, so basically a double crochet into a double crochet. And we're going to make between stitches between all of the stitches in this section, so that will be 1 and 2, and then another regular double crochet to end that section, chain 1, and so on all the way around. And this pattern then continues in the same manner for row 5, 6, 7, and so on. You'll just have you'll have between stitches between all of the stitches in that section, and you'll have your end stitches, and you'll have your chain 1s between each section. And a nice way to be able to tell what row you're on is you can just count how many stitches are in your sections. For row 5, you'll have 5 stitches in that section. For row 6, you'll have 6 stitches in that section, and so on. For row 7, you'll have 7, and so on. So that is how you make the circle motif. Be sure to stay till the end of the video, where I will have a little display of how the top looks when I'm wearing it. And when you do make yours, please be sure to share a picture with me. You can do so on Instagram by tagging me at Light and Joy Designs, or you can join my Facebook group, and I'll have a link to all that in the description below. If you want the written pattern, you can access it on my blog. It's free on my blog, or if you want one that's easily printable with no ads, it's also available on Etsy and Ravelry. So I hope that you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and share this with your friends, and we'll be seeing you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.